Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahushai. Call Haloyam, Adonai Yahawah, Bashem, Shamalak, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Habba Yahshua, Malak, Dawadah, house of King David, and it's a fusion of faces that look like these heathen nations, but their identity goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the royal holy chosen seed line. Shalom. Alright, Matthew 24, 6, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Yeah, we're definitely in the time period of beginning of sorrows. There's no denying that, and that's what this lesson is pretty much about. And I'm gonna get heavy on the topic with how a nation is rising against nation with the what you call it, with the trade wars and tariff wars. Basically, how countries are going against each other. They're really at it when it's coming to this topic. And he also said it like it's also mentioned like 3 times. It says, and when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginnings of sorrows. And again, 2 Ezra 16:18. The beginnings of sorrows and great mournings, the beginnings of famine and great death, the beginnings of wars, and the powers shall stand in the fear, the beginnings of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Yep. And guess what? And guess who the Most High is using to on the physical left hand side to push out all these things? It starts from with Esau, and that asshole, the dumb dickhead Donald Trump is behind it too. And okay, so this is basically my discussion from one of my from my macroeconomics class, because what I do is I go to college and study in business administration. So this was in my macroeconomics class, and this class studies heavily on economy, on how business and on a wide range aspect of different countries' economies. You're learning that, supply and demand. It teaches that as well, and it teaches about topics that's basically going on and that's relevant to this, to today's world. So this was an important topic. He even brought it to this lesson that I'm teaching right now. How and I put like this, with the international trade discussion, it says Trump thinks if the trade war doesn't end, then he will win either way, because countries will pay the U.S. in vast sums of money in the form of tariffs. Tariffs are taxes designed to make foreign goods more expensive, making domestic products more appealing. However, Trump should realize that other countries don't pay tariffs, and U.S. importers are paying for tariffs when they receive goods. In addition, when Trump imposes a tariff on an item, U.S. consumers are paying more for the import of goods from to America. Another point Trump should realize is the U.S. imports more goods than exports goods, and as a result, the net trade deficit is $552 billion. That's what it was in one of the videos that he sent. But I know it's higher than that now. And yeah, and America is like the number one importing country in the world. It's the highest importing country, and it's on the top 10 list for the exporting countries. Don't get me wrong, but China is like the highest exporting country. But yeah, and I put I feel like further on I feel like Trump is obviously oblivious to how trade works, because he's hurting U.S. consumers more than ever, and at this point he may cause an economic recession, and he will, because what Trump is doing is he's thinking that by raising tariffs on imported goods is gonna hurt the producers or whatever in those countries, You know, like if people in the other countries are gonna buy the products, and it's hurting his people. He's cutting off his nose to spite his face. He's hurting mostly his own consumers. You're how you hurting your own domestic consumers, thinking that you're hurting um other consumers from other countries. He's a dickhead. But this is what the elites wanted. They wanted that's why they wanted to put him in power, because that's why they want to put Trump in the office, because they know Trump don't know what the fuck he's doing. And um to prove my point, it says President John Claude Juncker, which was I think he was a president some European country. um he said, like, had to simplify how trade works with colorful flashcards so Trump could comprehend. And even Miss Merkel told Trump that he can only do a trade deal with EU and not Germany. It took him 11 responses for him to understand. So yeah, she had to tell him like 11 times that she could only do that he could only do trade deals with EU and not Germany. In the second video, it stated that trade was responsible for the decline of U.S. factory jobs. Trump is completely ignorant of the consequences of tariffs, because when he imposed a steel tariff on some nail factory near Derek Cummings' job location, the price of steel skyrocketed and sales dropped in half, and they laid off 100 workers, and he left many remaining workers in that company worried. Yeah, and but most importantly, I know two-thirds in the heathens, they should pretty much be worried about what's going to take place, because the elect, we don't really got to worry that much, but we got to be spiritually prepared for what's going to come. Feel me? So that's what I basically explained, and these are the videos that my professor shared out, and the questions he asked. you know so yeah. And even said in this article, all you gotta do is just search up Trump Great Depression, like what I did in this case. It says Trump is making the same trade mistake that started the Great Depression. You see? We all wonder if Trump's trade actions are as random as they appear, or if there is a broader strategy. Some of my contacts argue that the relatively strong U.S. economy allows the administration to take a harder line than would normally be advisable. The thinking is that we can ride out a trade war better than China can. This only works if the U.S. economy keeps growing long enough for the tariffs to make China bend. We can postpone a recession for another year or two if the trade war doesn't intensify and Europe pulls together. Since it is intensifying, we may not get that in time. In other words, tariffs could end the conditions that justify them. Something similar happened before the U.S. using the most famous trade mistake in the U.S. in global history, the 1930s smooth Hawley tariffs. Similar to today, the roaring 1920s saw rapid technological change, namely automobiles and electricity. This created a farm surplus as fewer horses consumed less feed, prices fell, and farmers complained of foreign competition. Herbert Hoover promised higher tariffs in his 1928 presidential campaign. He won, and the House passed a tariff bill in May 1929. The Senate was still debating its version of the bill when the stock market crashed in October 1929. Today, we use that event to mark the Great Depression's beginning. But at the time, people didn't know that we're in a depression or even a recession. Most economists expected a quick recovery. Stocks did recover quite a bit in the following months, though not back to the prior highs. So when the Senate finally passed the tariff bill in 1930 March, the thinking was not different from what we see today. Though they thought they could preserve and even extend the good times, but the conditions worsened quickly. By 1931, unemployed men were standing in soup lines. In 1932, both Smoot and Hawley lost their seats as Franklin Roosevelt beat Hoover in a landslide, 57% of the popular vote. That history won't necessarily repeat this time, but it's not a good sign. So, yeah, pretty much it's like, Trump is really gonna cause. You see, it's written all in here. It says, will Trump create a new Great Depression? There's so many articles, like, you know, basically speculating this, this topic. So many articles about this topic. Like, it's crazy. Trump is taking us back to great depression era trade policy. Yeah, and this is what his stupid ass trade is doing. The same thing Herbert Hoover did. But I feel like Trump is like a Herbert Hoover 2.0 because it's like this idiot doesn't understand anything about trading. So he's so dumb. All that money, look how retarded he is. And the stupid shit that he says in the interviews. Oh God. Why would they make a stupid ass man like him represent America? But hey, that's the point, of Americans. You know, they rather have smart immigrants coming to this country. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, man. This is what Trump is causing. So, and it said that in what you call it, Simpsons, when they predicted his election within the Simpsons. They also predicted in the Simpsons that he's gonna cause an economic recession and he's gonna cause the economy to crash. And let me see if I can find it. Like, Simpsons predicted an economic crash from President Trump 16 years ago. And I feel like it's gonna happen. It will. It will definitely happen. Trump is really that stupid. He will cause that to happen. Trump is not smart. So yeah, this is the stuff that I remember there was videos of YouTube saying that how Trump is the hand of God, and yeah, he is he works on the left hand side of Yahawah Yahushai. All of these Edomites do. That's running the government and running the world to this day. That's what they're causing. They're causing all these calamities to happen. Government is collapsing, and it's all through the will of Yahawah Yahushai. He's the mastermind behind this. This will help us get out our damn captivity faster. And, you know, this is going to be an uprising of the next kingdom for Jake, you know, for Yasharahla. So that's why a lot of these things are happening. But you got stupid 2/3 of our people that just love this kingdom. They don't want this kingdom to go. Well, too bad. It's gonna fall. And whoever want to be cleaved onto it can die along with Esau and all these other fucking heathens. Um, Let me see. And I've also seen, like, because of America, and it's bullshit, and these other nations getting tired of America. A lot of these other nations are starting to invest in their own gold, back up their own money. And let me show you right here, countries back in, because if you think about it, a lot of other countries have their own resources. America's the only one that exploits all these other countries' resources like a bully. They've been doing this for years in history, and they keep doing it to this day. Wait. Let me see. Now, countries here dropping the U.S. dollar. So yeah, you're gonna So there's some articles behind basically countries they're dropping the U.S. dollar. There's even some articles about that's probably like foreshadowing what China and Russia plan on doing. Because they eventually know that every country's getting tired of America and their bullshit. You know, um, this country, America, is known for like that's how they killed Gaddafi. That's how they killed and I've also that's how they killed some other country leaders because some country leaders decided to drop the dollar and they decided to back up their own currency by gold. You know, and that's why future prophecy for this country is to be burned in thermonuclear fire because a lot of these countries are really getting sick and tired of America and their bullshit. And they're soon gonna work together to just blow this country up to pieces. So yeah, seeing some articles about this, it's like, you know, it's crazy because, a lot of people think that they're enjoying their money. They're thinking that the money is real. It's only fiat currency. The money is fake. You know, all this money that we have is not even real. It's not backed up by anything. It has no intrinsic value. The Rothschilds, Rockefellers, they stole all that, and the other basically 12 families that rule this world, they stole all that shit. There are 12 wealthy families that rule this world, and that are part of the Illuminati bloodline. And it's really crazy when when you see that, like, how our money is like before the 1913 it was actually backed by stuff. It was actually backed up, but it's not no more. You know, this country over the times, like, we've been losing a lot of money in purchasing value, or over time we have been losing that. That's what also macroeconomics, it taught me that too. Like, we're losing a lot of purchasing power over the years. And this is what I'm talking about pretty much. And I did another video about this where I said that, like, how the government, how they be charging taxes on money, and how they be charging like interest on money, like, when you take out loans and shit like that, and how they be charging taxes on basically on your paycheck and shit and on food. You gotta pay tax for every damn thing. That's a sin that the government be doing. That's sinning. And this country claim that they're the fucking they're the law of the land. That this is like, you know land of the free and home of the slave. I mean, land of the free and home of the brave. This is land of the fee and home of the slave. Because every fucking fee, every tax fee you gotta pay, you know, you gotta pay for every damn thing. You know, and America acting like they could portray themselves as a damn free country. That's just an illusion. They're already taking away our freedom of speech and all that other shit. So, but look, it says how inflation is silently robbing of us of purchase power since 1913. Ever since that Federal Reserve Act was placed. Woodrow Wilson, that stupid dumbass, did it. So, with $20, you see how much you could get in 1998. You could fill your whole shopping cart with $20. Now it's like you could only get, and then in 2005, it was still pretty full. It wasn't really that full, but it was like, you could still work with it. But now 2013, you could, and to this day, you could barely get anything. You only get like, what, freaking 2 or 4 items with $20. Ain't shit now. So yeah, this is the stuff that I be studying in my school, in my courses and shit like that. I have to study these things, and it's really good because it makes you aware, and it doesn't make you ignorant of what's going on. Because you see, a lot of people, they're not really, you don't really need to go to college to do this, but like, you could just look on YouTube and get, and watch videos to edify yourself based on the economy and how it works and the stuff that's going on. Because clearly we have a president that don't study these things. And look what he's doing. Even when he has lectures about it, you could just tell he doesn't have that much knowledge. He just looks like a fool. You know, the president that we have, he belongs in a fucking on a baby bed with a fucking with Pampers, not in the fucking presidential, not in the no fucking um not in no government office. Not supposed to be sitting on a chair. He's supposed to be sitting on a baby chair. Feel me? And then this is what the government has been doing over the years, man. And the Federal Reserve, with those elites, the Federal Reserve that they run, you know, they've been planning these things. They've been doing these things for years. You know, with their central bank system, their evil central banks. And there's a video on YouTube where there's like a little cartoon that shows you about how the central banks are. So yeah, this cartoon on the third list of saying the collapse of the American dream. Yeah, that cartoon, it pretty much shows, it shows a lot. This is the stuff that these elites, that this is what they've been doing over years. And they find effective ways to keep our people stupid and ignorant, keep our people fighting against each other while they're working behind the curtains you know, on raising the taxes and making stealing our people's money value. They're stealing our purchase power. They've been doing this. They've been limiting our purchasing power, decreasing the value of money while increasing the quantity of money. They're increasing the value of it. And that's how they're pushing for the microchip. But yeah, this is what they're doing. I made that lesson edifying, man. Glory, praise, and honor to Adonai, Yahawah, Bashim, Shalom, Yahweh Shai, Bashim, Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders, great millstone. Peace and salutation to the whole full life. Shalom.